Now, Jay, nice to see you again. Last time we talked to you, it was around tariffs and trade. This is a new headache. Talk about how it's impacting the business, how many factories you have closed, and what's going on.
Yeah, it's really a nightmare again. You know, we're going through, I feel like my Casper mattress is haunted every night dealing with this. You know, the last time I was on the show, we just closed the phase 1 trade deal, which was fantastic for our categories and toys. And now we're dealing with this. And it's a disruption. You know, what's interesting now is most people don't understand. In China this time of year goes through the greatest migration of people in the world during the Chinese New Year, where the factory workers leave the factory provinces and go home. So it's a really interesting time because the workers are all in their home provinces. It's like an extra long Christmas vacation. The trick is, and the challenge is, will they be able to come back to the factories in the next 2 or 3 weeks? So the factory management and offices were supposed to be open yesterday on Monday. The government has kept everything closed for another week. So this coming Monday is going to be really important. If the government allows the management and the operational staff to return to the factories, that's a good signal that the workers will be able to start to return. If the workers can't return, if they lock down the provinces like they have the Wuhan and the Hubei province locked down right now, it's going to be a challenge. It's going to delay the restart of the factories. Most of the China factories are closed right now. They're supposed to begin to open back up again in the next week or two. If there's a delay, that could really stretch the supply chain out a bit.
So how prepared are you? I mean, do you have enough inventory? Are we going to see shortages?
Well, you know, what's interesting is it's sort of a knock-on effect, and sometimes you get a little bit lucky. We brought in, many folks, in particular in the toy industry, brought a lot of extra product in at the end of the year because we wanted to get in under the wire of tariffs if they hit on December 15th. So we're actually pretty heavy on inventory right now, which is great. So if there's a delay of 2, 4, or 6 weeks in getting the flow going again, we should be able to cover that. The real challenge is if this starts to creep into April, May, and June, then it's going to really be a disruption. Right now, what we're doing, the biggest thing that I'm doing every day is trying to chase down these things, trying to get masks. We're right. Searching all over to get masks, to send the masks over to China because the people can't return to work and they really can't even leave their homes without the masks. So we've been going everywhere to find these. Actually, these are made in America, so we're exporting these from the U.S. back over to China to make sure our offices in Hong Kong and our factories have enough masks to start to get the workers back in. We're monitoring it every day. Right now, our yes, sir.
Yeah, where are most of the factories you rely on? Where are most of the factories in China that you rely on? Yeah.
Most of our factories are in around the port regions and the coast. So we're in Shenzhen, Guangzhou. We're in the Fujian province and up in Nanjing. So we're not in the epicenter. The factories aren't in the epicenter, but the workers all live all throughout China. So they need to come back down from central and northern China to the southern provinces into the factories.
What are you watching to try to get a sense for the situation beyond, obviously, CNBC? I mean, are you relying at all on anybody in country who's being very helpful in terms of really telling you what's going on?
Yes, we have people on, we have folks in our local offices in provinces all over China. So we're checking with them literally every night to see if there's any announcements from the central government. Really, the cue is going to come from the central government. They're going to be the ones that are going to make the decision. You know, one thing that nobody's really addressing here is the root cause of the problem. And this is really what China needs to address. What they need to address is that they've got these unregulated, unlicensed food markets and wildlife markets all over the country. And this is now the third big outbreak. We've had SARS, we've had bird flu, and we have contravirus, all coming from unsanitary conditions in unregulated markets. And China's spending $170 billion to sort of, divert the effects of this. They need to start spending some money to close those things down, or this is going to happen all over again.
So Jay, I mean, my question is, and I had the same question around the trade story. Are you and is your industry too exposed to China for production?
In some ways, listen, when it was around the tariffs, I didn't think so. Now maybe we are. But our challenge is, where do you go from here? Is there less of a chance of this type of circumstance happening in a place like Vietnam or Indonesia or, frankly speaking, India? Health conditions, the political circumstances, infrastructure. There's not a lot of good options. And you guys have just been talking about how great the economy is here and how low the unemployment rate is. So there's not really an opportunity for many industries to come back to the States. So the best bet that we have as a industry and really business in general is to keep pushing and helping China strengthen their infrastructure so that they can accommodate these kind of situations better, make sure they're a good actor around the world so we don't have any disruptions from the political standpoint, and we keep things flowing. People used to say when America sneezed, the world catches a cold. We're going to find out about China. China just sneezed. We have to figure out whether it's a sniffle, a cold, or really a serious pandemic. And anything that, the governments can do to work together, it's been great to see our government and the WHO get into China early. That's been a big help. But they need to clean up their infrastructure.